When I heard the first scream on that rain-soaked street, I didn't know it was announcing the death of someone else. I was hearing the death of my own normal life. In this city, the killer wasn't just hiding. They were watching me, waiting for me, and without realizing it, I had become the next character in their story. Rain-slicked streets reflected the neon of the diner sign, casting fractured colors across the puddles. I pulled my coat tighter around me, though the chill had little to do with the wind. Something about this night felt wrong, like the world had shifted an inch out of place and was waiting for someone to notice. I had driven past this corner 100 times, but tonight, even the familiar smelled like danger. A figure moved under the flickering streetlight. A man, tall, coat collar up, hands stuffed deep into his pockets. Our eyes met for a second, long enough for my stomach to knot before he disappeared into the mist. I shook it off, telling myself it was just my imagination running wild, but as soon as I reached the diner, the bell above the door jingled like a warning. Inside, the usual crowd was there, the smell of coffee thick, the hum of conversation low. But I noticed the empty booth by the window. Empty, and yet it felt like someone had been waiting there for me, leaving a silence that screamed. I slid into a chair, trying to appear casual, glancing around. There was the waitress, flipping through orders, her eyes catching mine for a fleeting second before darting away, and then, on the counter, a folded note. My name was written on it in a precise, careful hand. I unfolded it slowly. Don't trust the one who smiles too easily. My hand trembled. I didn't know why, but I felt the words burrow into my chest like ice. Outside, the rain had picked up, drumming against the roof like a countdown. I left the diner, pulling my hood over my head. The streets were empty, yet I could feel eyes following me. It's impossible, I told myself. Nobody would follow me on a night like this, but every shadow seemed to twitch, every corner hiding someone breathing just behind it. I ducked into an alley to cross to the other side of the street, and that's when I heard the first scream. High, pitched, desperate, echoing off brick walls. I froze, heart hammering, trying to pinpoint the source, then movement. Something darted past me, fast, a blur of dark against darker. I followed, instinct taking over, running despite the fear tightening in my chest. The scream led me to a narrow doorway between two abandoned warehouses. There, a man lay sprawled on the ground, blood darkening the concrete around his head. His eyes were wide open, frozen in shock. And crouched over him, a shadow that didn't belong in the world. I didn't think, I just lunged, grabbing the nearest thing an iron pipe, and swung. The shadow turned, revealing a young woman, her face pale, eyes cold and calculating. She smirked, almost amused, and kicked me back, sending me sprawling. "You shouldn't have come," she whispered, voice low, like a knife sliding through silk. I scrambled to my feet, and suddenly, the man on the ground wasn't moving anymore. I ran, heart pounding, lungs burning. The streets seemed to twist, unfamiliar even though I had walked them for years. Every alley led to another dead end, every street lamp flickered threateningly, and all the while, her laughter followed me. It wasn't just a laugh, it was a promise, a warning that I couldn't ignore. I ducked into an apartment building, hoping for safety, only to find the stairwell empty, except for a single shoe lying on the steps. A shoe polished too small to be mine. I picked it up, and inside, tucked under the sole, was another note, "You're closer than you think." My hands were shaking so badly that the words blurred before my eyes. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound outside my window made me jump. Cars, dogs, the occasional scream that seemed like it, came from the walls themselves. By morning, the city felt dead, hollowed out, but I couldn't escape the feeling that something was watching, waiting for me to make the wrong move. I needed to know who she was, why she had killed, why she had chosen me as her audience. I started asking around, careful not to reveal too much. Names came up, vague connections, whispers of a girl who had vanished years ago. Someone no one had been able to pin down, but who had left a trail of chaos. Days bled into nights, and my obsession grew. Every street corner, every face in a crowd became a potential threat. And then I saw her again, walking calmly across a park I had passed hundreds of times. She didn't run, didn't hide, just walked, as if daring me to follow. I did, keeping to the shadows, following her through the labyrinth of the city, and then she disappeared, like a ghost slipping through the cracks. I reached the spot where she had vanished, and there it was, another note. You wanted the truth, here it is, everyone you trust is lying. I realized I didn't know anyone anymore, friends, co-workers, even family, all faces that had once been familiar now seemed like masks hiding motive. I started testing people, watching for tells, subtle shifts in expression, things that might reveal loyalty, or the lack of it. And slowly, horrifyingly, I began to see the threads. A co-worker embezzling funds, a neighbor selling secrets, a friend lying about being somewhere they weren't. Every revelation twisted the knife in my chest. Every discovery confirmed the note's warning. Then came the final confrontation. It wasn't in a dramatic showdown or a dark warehouse. It was quiet in my own apartment. I had locked the doors, checked the windows, convinced myself I was safe. And yet, there she was, standing in my kitchen, calm, serene, like she had been invited in all along. You found the truth, she said softly. But now you know too much. My mind raced, searching for a way out, for anything to stop the inevitability I could feel pressing down on me. I lunged, fought, tried to overpower her, but she was fast, stronger than I had imagined. And then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. The police came later, drawn by the neighbors' complaints about noise, but she was gone, vanished, leaving only the chaos behind. Files scattered, notes, the faint echo of laughter lingering in the air. They believed me, sort of, but I knew better. The city had changed me, warped me, and she was still out there, waiting for the next person who thought they could play detective. I stayed awake for nights after, haunted by the small details, the way she had smiled, the way she had vanished. And in the end, I understood, some crimes are never solved and some criminals are never caught. They just wait, patient, invisible, perfect shadows in the neon rain. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.